Alright guys, welcome back to the hangar. I had somebody ask me about my A-7. So this is my newest flying jet. I got one more that's newer that I haven't built yet. But this one I've flown. I flew it at Georgia Jets this past year for the first time, and still had a little bit of tweaking to do with it, but it's flying pretty good. And I had to do a few things that kind of some squawks, as they say in the fixed wing world, that kind of come up after the first event. But somebody asked me about it on the YouTube channel, so I said I would do like a little what about video. So it's branded by King Tech, but it's made by the same people that make my F-22 T1, and if you followed the build on it, you know all the issues I had, so I'm not going to hash that out, but it is flying okay. Flies like a typical A-7 from what I hear, but it does fly okay. And I just fixed a couple of the things I was fixing. I had to fix the main gear was a little loose. I fixed that. And then I had to beef up these pylons. Like I flew it with the wing tanks on and all the other pylons, but no bomb rack with the dummy bombs. So to get these on here, because they're kind of heavy, I wanted to beef these up. And what I did for the two that I'm actually carrying stuff on is it was real simple. I took a real thin, probably a little over 1/8 of an inch hollow carbon tube, and I drilled a hole through the pylon, and I put into the bottom part of the wing. So, and then I put the pylon on, ran the tube through, and then I trimmed it off flush with the bottom of the pylon. And then I did that for all four, and then I took it back out. Obviously I had the wings flipped over, put a little glue in the hole, which would be the top side, which is where that rod is going to be touching, and where it comes out the bottom. So essentially you've got a top glue joint and a bottom wing glue joint, and then the carbon tube sticks out. Now you can take these off, but you'll still have the carbon tube there. So if I ever sold the jet and somebody didn't like it, they could just trim that carbon tube off if they want, or leave it like I got. But I wanted to make the pylons removable just in case. But man, just that little bit, I thought about gluing these things on because I'm never going to take them off. You know, you can see that one, that one's got a lot of slot, but these things are solid now, and I didn't even have to glue them on, so I'm happy with that. But this thing, it's just something that you don't see every day. It's got a Zykoy 120 in it. They recommended King Tech / T1 recommended a 85 to a 105. Well, my 120 is the size of a King Tech 105, and because this thing has a lot of drag, because there's really no flow through. I mean, there's a billion things in between there and the ass end of this jet, including a big fuel tank, or a fuel tank that's covering up the entire center portion of it. So the tank sits here, your motor sits here, and it's very tough to work on because there's just no way to get in there. Like, they had all their stuff here. I pulled all that out, moved it as far forward as I could. There's an equipment tray that's right here, and still had to add a little bit of nose weight, and I'll probably have to add a little bit more, or just add another battery, because I have a small battery for the turbine. So that was kind of my thought. If I added those and it went more tail heavy, which it should, because the CG is right there and these are all aft, so it's close to the CG, which makes it which is better. But I'm guaranteed I'm going to have to add either that other battery to double up the battery capacity on my turbine battery, or just add some weight. So I'll probably add the battery and CG it, and if I need to add a little bit more nose weight, I can do like I did. I have a bag of BBs in the front there. But that's it. So yeah, I fly around 65 to 70% throttle comfortably which is faster than it really needs for scale flying, and you gotta fly at scale. There's really not much you can say other than that. It's a good flying jet for scale flying. Lands pretty good. You know, the land, if you're not careful, you'll come in hot, but it likes to land kind of flat. But it does slow down, which it took me a little while to get used to that. And something that's kind of odd about this one on takeoff is the rear end of the jet actually tries to take off before the nose, which is weird. I'm guessing because there's so much more mass in the nose. But if you're not careful, that you'll watch it, it'll pitch up and so if this is the nose is over here and you're going this way, it'll kind of start to do this. So you have to be on it and catch it to get that nose to rotate up. But this was a specific scheme for a specific commander that I found, and the colors turned out great. They added some decals that I wasn't happy about. I don't know why, because I sent them the decals and everything. Added a bunch of crazy stuff. The cockpit is okay. Here, this thing is hard to get. Hold on, I'm gonna have to set the camera down for just a second. There we go. Alright, so here we go. Sorry about that. I've got another camera coming, so I'm going to go with the GoPro attached to the head, so you're going to be seeing all this, kind of what I see, and that way I can do things. So oh man. Sorry about that. I'll have to call him back. That's a customer calling. So the canopy is kind of basic and everything, but these little two side pieces here are just held in with magnets. And then you pull these out, and then it just comes out. Back has got two magnets on the back, and this will get you access to not very much room. So I've got 4 batteries, one for the turbine, one for the gear, 2 batteries for the power system, and they're all up here in the nose. I got a receiver, the DLPH1, the Futaba DLPH1, Cortex Pro, gyro, Zykoi LGC15 landing gear controller. I ditched the stock controller that T1 makes just because it didn't have enough channels for gear doors. Because what I did is this one had 2 micro servos for the nose doors and had this ridiculous system on the mains that would pull them closed with like carbon tubes and springs, and it just it broke, it didn't work. So I essentially added a little servo to each gear door. So I needed more gear door controls, or otherwise the stock controller would have been fine. I'm using the light controller. It's a very basic lighting scheme on this jet. They don't really show much because the lenses don't show much light through them at all. I wish they would have just went with I don't know, it's just crappy lenses. They're almost pointless. You really can't see them unless it's completely dark. But anyways, electric gear, they use I'm guessing it's JMP gear or whatever, but it works okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what, and like I said, the UAT is the only thing that's kind of back here in this thing, because you can't get to this center area unless you take the tank out, which is just really tough. So everything else is either up in this area or along this tray or in the nose, because you might as well push it up here anyways for the CG. But that's it, man. Somebody, like I said, somebody's wanting to know kind of what it is and everything. I did have to fix a few things on it. This one was not the easiest to get done, but it was worth it. So, but you guys have a good one, and I will get on to the F-22. I got the main tanks mounted now, so it'll just be finishing running up the wiring and stuff, and then I shifted gears too. I'm digging into the Tomcat. I got to fix that fuel leak, and hopefully I can get that done and the F-22 done before Mississippi Jets, which is coming up in a couple weeks. So, but the next video I need to do too, somebody was asking me to show how I did the dual engine telemetry. So that's the next video I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down on the table over there and show you how I set up the dual engine telemetry on the F-22. So you guys have a good one. Talk to you later.